Hey, what's up guys? We're back again with a unique strategy that just unveiled itself at the top of Clash Royale. The ranked 19 player in the world is loving his royalty with Royal Giant and Royal Recruits in the same deck. By spamming recruits in the back first play, you're getting to the evolution while baiting out your opponent's building. So after defending against the recruits, they'll have nothing to distract the Royal Giant. Especially if they have Bomb Tower, they have to use that card to eliminate your recruits. If they try to use bombers or firecrackers, they get squashed by arrows. And any bait cards that attempt to defend will meet their immediate end from the Mother Witch, Bomber, Skeleton Dragons, and Rage. It's comical, crazy, and just straight up unfair when opponents are forced to drop units on top of the Royal Giant. You use that opportunity with your Evo Bomber and collect free damage, earning you the victory. If you only have room for one evolution, use the Evo Bomber. But the deck still works well with Evo Recruits too. It's time to capitalize on chaos by combining Royal Recruits and Royal Giant to assert dominance. And a couple cannonballs of love to everyone that's supporting the channel with credit code SirTag. Yo, this guy finished 800 in the world, so we're gonna go for recruits in the back and test out his skill. Actually, no. The best play for us is to go for a bomber in the back first play, because if we find out that our opponent's dropping Sparky and they drop it directly into our recruits, that would be horrible, because you're just donating recruits at that point, and then you have no distraction for the Sparky, so the counter push can kill you. So if you're given the choice, evolved recruits are a little bit better most of the time, but they do come with a caveat. If you don't know what you're playing against, it is slightly more risky. The guy's going to have a Bowler and Electro Spirit. It might be some wacky Royal Giant deck that I've never played against before. But I don't necessarily know. We're going to find out here. He is a top 1,000 player, so he is pretty good at the game. And we have to play a bit suspiciously defensive because we've seen Bowler and we've seen Barbarians. I don't know what other ground defensive cards he's going to have to go and crush us. Jeez, dude, calm down with that. I have to go for a Fisherman here too. This feels so bad. I spent so much elixir on defense and I didn't get much out of it. I dropped 5 elixir. My Fisherman's dead. My Evolved Bomber might activate King Tower for the guy, which isn't that bad for me because I have Royal Giant. Wait, is it going to lock him in the tower instead? No way. Dude, that is so stupid. How much damage did I get from an Evolved Bomber into a Bowler? Isn't Bowler supposed to be one of the best ground defensive cards in the game? And it still wasn't enough to stop our stupid card. All right, Clash Royale, maybe nerf the Evolved Bomber a little bit. But don't nerf it now. Let me get some free wins with it first. I'm going to go and use an arrows on top of either Firecracker or use Rage, depending on what happens. I mean, I think I'm going to just Rage up the Skeleton Dragon and my recruits. Because the Skeleton Dragon's latched onto the tower, increasing my damage potential. That's always nice to see. And then we can charge up our recruits a little bit faster too. Hey, let's go. That's the entire tower down already. So top 1,000 player got toppled by the RG recruits. And it wasn't even the deck that we were hoping to face. Idealistically, we would face against a Bomb Tower deck or an Inferno Tower, bait out their building with our recruits that are coming out first. Then we go for a Royal Giant when he doesn't have a building, and then we shred his towers. But he didn't even get that opportunity. He didn't even get that luxury. He had a better situation, and he still got screwed. Hey, he's going to try and do a tower trade here, but I don't even know if he gets 2 shots in time. Maybe the Royal Giant gets that last shot. I think it does, but we are simply going to shred the other tower, and there's nothing he can do. Jules, hopefully you're chuckling a little bit because our deck is kind of chaotic and crazy. So hopefully you're able to laugh a little bit at the shenanigans along with the loss. Hey, we got another one here. This guy's going to have the Evolved Valkyrie in the banner, which is not a card that they're ever going to be playing. And if you do play it, you're one of the most adventurous people in Clash Royale because the card is awful. It really is destined to set you up for a loss. And if you can find a good way to use it right now, you might be using it with like Hog Rider, Firecracker, Fast Cycle, and hoping that it gets a buff. Because honestly, I want to see the Evolved Valkyrie pop off a little bit. I want some refreshing meta. No more Evolved Knights, no more Evolved Bombers, no more Evolved Firecrackers. Give me an Evolved Valkyrie. Anyway, it's kind of fun to be able to just pull... Oh, I was going to say pull off a heist and get some piggies on the map. But it's not cool to give our opponent a King Tower activation like that. So if you're unaware... 1 piggy is all it takes to activate King Tower. But at the same time, we have Royal Giant. But the downside is we have a lot of bridge spam mixed in there. So our recruits are not going to appreciate the King Tower activation that this guy snagged. I can arrows here, and I don't think it's going to kill the Magic Archer initially. But maybe the Bomber? No! It's left alive at 0 HP. Wait. Stop it. Don't troll me like this, my guy. Stop it. Stop. He's making me drop a Fisherman in the middle because I don't want to take damage from a tornado. Okay. All right. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to go for recruits and you're going to go wall breakers and you're going to blast my tower because I don't have a building. It is a bit of a downside of this deck, but we can build off of the elixir advantage and then try to capitalize on his downside here. I don't think he's going to be in a good spot when he has rushing recruits in his face. And then he's going to be forced to go in for like a defensive card that we can either use Evolved Bomber on or arrows. I think Evolved Bomber is probably going to be the play, especially since we do have rage, so we can... Oh my gosh. There's no universe where you drop a knight directly on top of the Evolved Bomber. You know what happened? He was queuing in a card, and because he was constantly spamming it, and he didn't have enough elixir, it drops it in that spot. So beware, guys. If you are frantically trying to drop a card and you don't have enough elixir, just wait a little bit, because then Clash Royale will force you to drop a card that you don't want directly down the middle, and an Evolved Bomber will screw you over. Pretty fun game, as you guys can see. If your opponent overcommits, even if they do have a bomb tower against recruits, they're not going to have the bomb tower in cycle when you blast through with the Royal Giant, and that's why this deck works so well.
That was easy.
Lots of quick games with this deck as we easily ascend up the leaderboard. And, you know, it's nice to see our familiar face with my favorite card in the game, Magic Archer. He isn't played too often. Especially with the power creep of the Evo Bomber in the game, there really isn't a use case for him. And we're starting off at 9,200 in the world. All right, we got a game against someone that is already angry. I don't even know why he's angry yet, but he's going to become furious when he realizes what he's playing into. So I'm going to recruits in the back first play, and then I can Mother Witch and just steal all of his bats. There's no way his body's prepared for 5 piggies in his face. Oh yeah, that's what we like to see. I bet you it's Giant Graveyard. Literally drops Giant in the back when recruits are coming at him. There's no way. This isn't real life. This is not a strategy that you can do, my dude. That is way too funny. So I'm going to go arrows here. I'm going to use my Skeleton Dragons to kill that as quickly as I can. I'm going to pull the Giant to the other side so when he graveyards, he doesn't have a tank for it. Oh, I was hoping he would graveyard. I really thought he would. I thought there would be like a 90% chance that he would graveyard with that, and then the Skeleton Dragon would melt the graveyard skeletons, and he would just instantly lose the game. So if you guys are lucky enough to match into Giant Graveyard when you got Mother Witch, it's kind of fun to make them feel like a fool, right? They'll make a lot of mess ups because Giant Graveyard players never play perfectly, and when they go into Mother Witch and they go into a lot of just spammy cards, you see how angry this guy is? I don't think I've ever made an opponent this mad in a game where they're just furiously spamming the anger button. And now he's losing both of his towers. So this is quite possibly one of the easiest matches I've had in Clash Royale. I did not expect this to be that funny and fun, but this game is already done. And he's giving us the clap as we clap him and 3-crown him. That man lost in a record-breaking time of 1 minute and 30 seconds. Let me know down below in the comment section how fast have you made someone rage quit. After annihilating Giant Graveyard, we've pushed up to 6,000 in the world. All right, we got a game against Mr. Nathan, and we're ready to hunt him with our bombers and recruits. So our strategy right now is really simple. Spam the evolutions. Full send. Obviously, guys, I wish Clash Royale wasn't like this, but sometimes you just got to go recruits in the back. And we're going to go for Mother Witch. I don't think we're going to get many piggies, but maybe we can get 1 or 2. Oh, wait, no way. Oh, wait, what? Dude, they need to fix that. Because the fisherman looked like it wasn't looking at what it was hitting. It really looked like it was going to look at the recruits. Man, that was massive troll level over 10,000. He thought I was going to fisherman. We just baited him so hard. The Hunter Gaming was hunting me. I'm so thankful I didn't get predicted there. He anticipated that we would fisherman, and we fished out a dominant defense with Skeleton Dragons and a snowball that missed the mark, to say the least. So I wonder if he sniped me or something, if he knew my deck, because most people would not anticipate us having a fisherman with this deck. When you see recruits, wouldn't it end up being recruits Royal Hogs that I'm known for? I don't know, man. It be what it be. So we gotta beat this man, especially if he sniped me. So I'm going to go in for Royal... I think we go in for Royal Giant here. We've got an impressive amount of royalty in our deck. And I rarely say people snipe me, but I think that this guy, knowing our deck, is a serious contender to doing that. I'm going to go for a Royal Giant here, and then I'm also going to go for a Bomber just because I want to spam the evolution. Oh my gosh, can we like one-shot the Skeletons? Nah, dude. What am I thinking? A 2 elixir cost card countering a 1 elixir? That would never happen in Clash Royale. It eventually happened, actually. So I've doubted the Bomber, and he's like, Jake, I gotta show you up. I gotta show you what's the best. I'm gonna withstand the test. Oh man, he's better than the rest, apparently. Anyway, we're vibing here. Skeleton Dragons are able to clumsily counter the rest of our opponent's cards. It didn't look like it was gonna happen, but it eventually worked out. It was a bit scuffed in the process, though. So he's spamming the Hunter. He's got the Hunter emote. He's also got, you know, the Hunter clan. He's got everything to make that Hunter as well welcomed in his deck as possible. Snowball arrow is like nobody's business. He just whips it out. Spams it like a savage. Yo, dude, I don't think you can do that when we got Evo Bomber. I genuinely think he just lost the game. If you cycle that, we're able to rage up our Evo Bomber and be impressively evil. How is that hitting the tower on the other side? Someone tell me. Clash Royale, fix your game for a second, my dudes. There's no universe where that should be allowed. I'm looking at that, and that's just like, I don't want to look at it. I want to just cleanse my eyes. I need an eye cleanser after that one, my dudes. Holy heck. There's no universe where that's reality. If it's reality, I don't know, man. We needed to go and teleport ourselves to a different arena. So we're definitely having the Fisherman Wild West duel, and ours wins because I guess we're lucky like that. And we're going to go in for a Mother Witch because we're lucky like that when he goes in for his bats. Oh my gosh, how many piggies? The 3 little piggies in the team. Yo, wait, what if we... Yeah, no, he knew. He knew. I was thinking about Evo Bombering his butt, and he's like, Jake, that is not happening in this juncture. Not today. I've lost to that junk too many times, and I'm not having that happen again. Look at him, always dropping cards at the river so he never gets finessed. I really am impressed with his gameplay. Very good player. So I'm going to go for a Mother Witch and give him the respect that he deserves. Wait. Teleport time, Royal Giant. Let's go, boys. Maybe not. I don't. Do I get? I win. Never mind. We're fine. He thought the double evolution dance would be enough to be a menace to encapsulate our ridiculous Royal Giant endeavor and delete it in seconds. Instead, the Royal Giant had seconds on his tower and spelled out his doom. Lots of respect to Nathan, though. He was one of the best players we played against all day. All right, we got a game against someone with a P.E.K.K.A banner. So you already know if we're playing against P.E.K.K.A, we have some decent ways of pointing it and making sure it can't reach our tower. Obviously, running recruits, you don't want to be cycling at first play if we're playing against Sparky, but it doesn't matter to me. We're running the risk, and we'll see if it's going to pay off. If he's got Miner and he cycles in the back, he obviously doesn't have very many good ground defenses in his deck. So, looking at this start, I'm loving it. I'm also able to go for a Mother Witch here on the right-hand side because I want to be able to start to accumulate some pigs and tank for our precious recruits. I'm going to rage here because I want to be able to finish off the bandit, and he's going to have Mega Knight. Wait, what? Are you serious? You had a Mega Knight deck, and you dropped Miner in the back first play. Massive mind games from my man. So we're going to Fisherman, and we will activate King Tower against the Mega Knight. It's a little bit unfortunate for us that he's going to zap and he's going to get more damage, and it's also pretty lame that he ended up going for wall breakers there, but it is what it is. It's part of the game. You know, you can't always get the most optimal outcomes in every single situation, but we still snagged the King Tower activation, so that's a double thumbs up from me. I'm going to go for Skeleton Dragons in case he goes in for bats or any type of bait card, and we can start to go and spam our bomber directly on top of the bandit as well. I believe the bandit dies without dashing onto the bomber, so that's huge for us. And then the Skeleton Dragons are going to be able to pop off with the bomber to hopefully finish off the little prince if I'm lucky. And that's exactly what happened. That bomber paid off in a big way, blasting through 2 cards that would have been triumphant against our spam. And then the counter push would have forced out the bomber anyway, and, you know, it just wouldn't have worked out near as nicely. It's important to understand when you're not overcommitting, or just being able to cycle a 2-cost card and be like, hey, you know, like at worst, I'm spending 2 elixir. I'll still be able to defend, and it won't be the end of the world. If you're overcommitting with like 5 elixir barbarians and you're trying to cycle the evolution, it kind of feels trashy sometimes. But if you're cycling skeletons or Evo Bomber, 1 or 2 cost cards to get to their overpowered evolution, you're not going to get punished near as often. So I'm going to go in for the Fisherman here. There's a high likelihood he decides to go for a zap or something. Totally fine for me. I don't necessarily care that much because we do have a bomber and we can bounce through with a Royal Giant. The beautiful thing about this is the fact that we can either go Royal Giant or recruits. And I thought about it for a second. I was like, okay, recruits, really good when the opponent has Cannoneer. Royal Giant, not so good. So I'm going to choose the more optimal strategy. I'm going to bounce through with what I can do. Then I'm going to go in for a Royal Giant afterward because all of our bait cards are tanking for the RG. And the RG is like, hey, dude, I'm showing up at the party, but there's nothing left over. And we already snagged the tower. Oh, geez, dude, chill. Calm down with this. I didn't expect you to play that well. So the good thing that we did is we outplayed his good play. His smart strategy of going in for spam at the river at the most optimal point was baited out, kind of, sort of, maybe a little bit by us. And now we need to get pigs. We need pigs now, immediately. Yo, there's 10 seconds left. If that bandit dashes on my tower, I'm dead. I'm going to go bomber in the back, so maybe we can body block. The Mother Witch is on top of the miner. He's going for the zap, but that's not enough. We sacrificed the Evo Bomber, so we were able to stop the miner, and that felt so evil. Rarely would you ever want to sacrifice an evolution, but if it wins you the game, you can't complain. Hey, we're in a game against Pedro. So we're going to see if we can go right towards this tower with our recruits when we get to cycle them. But I guess it's suffice to say, cycling the bomber in the back is not a bad play. The guy's going to go for Skeleton Dragons, so that's going to be 4 elixir down the drain for him. I'm going to go and combat him and trade Skeleton Dragons evenly. I think that's a decent strategy, especially since the Bomber is going to be able to tank for us. So our 1 Skeleton Dragon to the left is going to be something that we can savor. And the Skeletons are definitely going to give us some value, or at least like 1 Skeleton Dragon hit on the left. So he should respond to that. We can go for a Fisherman directly on top of the wall breakers. If we hit the one in the front first, then we're fine. And we're going to start to steal, right? No, we don't get it? Yo, I just got robbed in 4K. That's awful. Anyway, we don't want to lose the game here to a Firecracker splash down on my tower forever. So we are going to have to rage on top of that. It's still an awesome concept to look at your rage and be amazed by the fact it deals damage. If you guys have been an old school Clash Royale player, you remember the day that recruits plus rage was never a thing and rage did 0 damage. So I'm going to go for Royal Giant in the middle to pull both of the Skeleton Dragons, and if he drops a unit, we're going to go Evo Bomber his butt. I believe he's going to drop something. He has to. Come on. All right, that's fine too. He's really going to be running Bomb Tower, which is one of the cards that this deck is destined to counter. So the thing that we have here is he has no building in cycle, so it's better for us to go in for the Mother Witch for our piggy factory. I didn't get that last shot on top of the Goblin, and then that would have given us a pig, but it is what it is. I'm really trying to bait out units down the middle, so I do something dumb like Fisherman Skeleton Dragons. It's not a bad play in this specific situation because he doesn't have Fireball. And then we can go for a Bomber and be like, yo, what you gonna do when you knock your units back with the Fisherman, pointing them super far back so the Bomber can get more damage. And then if you noticed, I was hovering my arrows and holding them because I didn't necessarily feel like dropping arrows directly into something and then getting destroyed by either goblins or wall breakers, since we saw those earlier. Also, since we know he's going to have Bomb Tower, we always want to bait it out with the Royal Giant so then the Recruit's Evolution can do more work, since the Recruit's Evolution is a little bit better than a regular Royal Giant. So I'm going to go through with the Mother Witch here, fully expecting him to give us some Fireball bait that we can convert. And then we're going to go in for our Recruits afterward. We're going to wait till the last possible second, then we're going to cycle them just so we're in a better spot so then they can start charging on the tower. I hope that we can force out Elixir that he's not ready for. Yeah, he freaked out and dropped a log, which is not something that I would expect him to do. Then he Fireballs, so the Skeleton Dragons are going to have free reign, and then we can probably just get away with the Fisherman and arrows here. Because his recruits are not evolved right now, we're in a good spot. Also, we're going to activate King Tower against the Firecracker Evolution, so that's giving us even better vibes, and allowing us to possibly maybe go for an Evo Bomber on the Goblins if we're lucky. I need this damage for my sanity, my dude. And that's beautiful. That's so much value. Forcing out a Fireball, too. This guy is freaking out. And the Royal Giant still delivers a hit. What's up with that, bro? I didn't expect that to happen, but we'll take that. And then I think we just keep going in for RGs here because he'll be more inclined to go in for recruits. And if we can kill these recruits, then we can go for a Royal Giant and just win the game. Our strategy right now, win the bridge battle with the Mother Witch, force the Fireballs with the Mother Witch, so then our Evo Bomber wins us the battle of the bridge and allows us to do enough damage to win. Or we go for a Royal Giant when he doesn't have anything in cycle to counter it. So that's what our best plan is right now, just raging up the Bomber and hopefully killing the Goblins in time, or just getting 2 Royal Giant shots. I don't know, whichever happens first. It doesn't even matter. All right, so we didn't get enough damage. We are going to be pulling our Firecracker to kiss our Princess Tower even quicker. And then I think we can unleash the recruits and charge in both sides. Beautiful thing about this is he's going to have to Bomb Tower, and there's really no other way for him to defend the Mother Witch. So you got to Bomb Tower this, my bro. Is he going to Fireball? If that's not going to work, we can Evo Bomber on you. GG. All right. So I told him what he had to do. He didn't want to listen, and this is the consequence, man. You get spanked by the Evo Bomber. On to the next one. GG and well played. If opponents rely on buildings to build a defense against Evo Recruits and Evo Bomber, especially with a Royal Giant baiting out the building consistently, it's mission impossible. Like, subscribe for more daily videos, and have an amazing rest of your day.